Guess who's back? It's Bubba G. And Bubba G is teaching Bible basics for all those who want to know, but especially those 10 and under, because you must learn. In the last video, we saw the prophecy of Malachi. Yes, Malachi was prophesying to the people after they came out of exile. Remember? They were in exile. They went to Babylon. But King Cyrus, after the 70 years, God raised them up. He said, it's time to go back. So, after they went back, they had to build the temple. They built the temple. Then they built the wall. They still had some enemies trying to stop them, but it was prophesied that they would do it, and they did it. So, in this video, we're going to see the correlation between the Old Testament and the New Testament, because Malachi was the end of the Old Testament. So, in this video, we're going to see what happened in the Old versus the New. Because remember, in the Old Testament, there was sin. Sin came through Adam and Eve. Remember, God said, don't touch that tree. They touched that tree, and the sin came. The sin came in the earth. So what happened? Remember, God clothed them. He clothed them. They tried to clothe themselves at first, but God clothed them with animals. He covered them. He always covered his people. He used blood to do it. He made a way because sin was separating the people from God. God wanted to be with his people. Remember? He was with them in the desert, the cloud by day and the fire. Then in the tabernacle, he was in the box, the covenant box, the ark. That was like his presence. They put the ark in the holy place. The holies of holies is where God dwelled. But they had to do certain things in order for them not to die in the presence of God. They had to be covered. Because of their sin was separating them from God. So God made a way for them to be together. Because God likes a family. God is love. Don't forget. He's very merciful, slow to anger. So he always makes a way for his people. So in the Old Testament, God made a way. We're going to see what he did. Where you at, Bubba G? I'm in Leviticus chapter 16. The Day of Atonement. The Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron who were killed when they offered unholy fire to the Lord. He said, tell your brother Aaron that only at the proper time is he to go behind the curtain into the most holy place, because that is where I appear in a cloud above the lid on the covenant box. If he disobeys, he will be killed. He may enter the most holy place only after he has brought a young bull for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. Verse 4, then the Lord gave the following instructions. Before Aaron goes into the most holy place, he must take a bath and put on the priestly garments, the linen robe and shorts, the belt and the turban. The community of Israel shall give Aaron 2 male goats for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall offer a bull as a sacrifice to take away his own sins and those of his family. Then he shall take the 2 goats to the entrance of the tent of the Lord's presence. Verse 8, there he shall draw he shall draw lots, using 2 stones, one mark for the Lord, and the other for Azazel. Aaron shall sacrifice the goat chosen by lot for the Lord and offer it as a sin offering. The goat chosen for Azazel shall be presented alive to the Lord and sent off into the desert to Azazel in order to take away the sins of the people. When Aaron sacrifices the bull as a sin offering for himself and his family, he shall take a fire pan full of burning coals from the altar and 2 handfuls of fine incense and bring them into the most holy place. There, in the Lord's presence, he shall put the incense on the fire, and the smoke of the incense will hide the lid of the covenant box, so that he will not see it and die. Wow. He shall take some of the bull's blood, and with his finger sprinkle it on the front of the lid, and then sprinkle some of it 7 times in front of the covenant box. After that, he shall kill the goat for the sin offering for the people. Bring its blood into the most holy place and sprinkle it on the lid and then in front of the covenant box, as he did with the bull's blood. In this way, he will perform the ritual to purify the most holy place from the uncleanliness of the people of Israel and from all their sins. He must do this to the tent because it stands in the middle of the camp, which is ritually unclean. From the time Aaron enters the most holy place to perform the ritual of purification until he comes out, there must be no one in the tent. When he has performed the ritual for himself, his family, and the whole community, he must then go out to the altar for burnt offerings and purify it. He must take some of the bull's blood and some of the goat's blood and put it all over the projections at the corners of the altar. With his finger, he must sprinkle some of the blood on the altar 7 times. In this way, he is to purify it from the sins of the people of Israel and make it holy. Wow. Now we're going to skip to verse 29. Verse 29. The following regulations are to be observed for all time to come. On the 10th day of the 7th month, the Israelites and the foreigners living among them must fast and must not do any work. On that day, the ritual is to be performed to purify them from all their sins, so that they will be ritually clean. That day is to be a very holy day, one on which they fast and do no work at all. These regulations are to be observed for all time to come. The high priest, properly ordained and consecrated to succeed his father, is to perform the ritual of purification. Did you hear that? Let's read that again. Verse 32. The high priest, properly ordained and consecrated to succeed his father, is to perform the ritual of purification. And perform the ritual, he shall put on the priestly garments and perform the ritual to purify the most holy place. The rest of the tent of the Lord's presence, the altar, the priests, and all the people of the community. Okay, we're going to go back. Again, 32. The high priest, properly ordained and consecrated to succeed his father, is to perform the ritual of purification. He shall put on the priestly garments and perform the ritual to purify the most holy place. The rest of the tent of the Lord's presence, the altar, the priests, and all the people of the community. These regulations are to be observed for all time to come. This ritual must be performed once a year to purify the people of Israel from all their sins. So Moses did as the Lord had commanded. So what do we see? We see God gave instructions to Aaron because Aaron was the priest. And these are the things he had to do to for the sins of the people. Now he had to do it once a year, right? Ain't that what it says? But God was like, okay, I'm going to make a better way. Instead of, I'm going to have a sacrifice for you that's going to be a clean sacrifice, innocent. And he will take away the sins of the people forever. And that's what we shall see in the New Testament. Yes.